Hi everyone, welcome to week 4, which we'll be spending on Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. In this first video of the material form and context lecture, we'll be focusing on the material form of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, or the manuscript, where we find Sir Gawain. This manuscript is a really interesting one. Like the previous manuscripts that we've been studying, this is the sole surviving manuscript that contains the narrative Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. So again, we're very lucky to even have it at all. And like I mentioned in past lectures, manuscript books rarely had just one text within them. Usually they were anthologies or compilations of many different texts in one book. And in this manuscript, we find 4 texts in all, including Sir Gawain, Pearl, Cleanness, and Patience. And scholars believe that one author or one poet, in fact, composed all of these 4 pieces of writing. We don't know who that author was. Unlike Marie de France, the author does not identify themselves in this text. So scholars have taken to a shorthand of referring to this author as the Pearl Poet. So sometimes I might refer to the Pearl Poet when talking about Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. As you look at this manuscript, you might notice a lot of features held in common with the manuscript of Marie de France's lays. You'll notice, for example, this ornately illustrated historiated letter, just like Marie de France's manuscript. You'll also notice a lot of ornamentation in the margins, a very careful script that was put here by the scribe. But one way that this manuscript differs from Marie de France's manuscript is that we're no longer reading Anglo-Norman, or that early form of French. Finally, we're reading a text, the first of the semester, in Middle English. So Middle English, the language that we discussed last time, has finally begun to be regarded as a literary language, not just a language for the lower classes, like we saw last time, talking about sheep and cow and chicken versus mutton, beef, and poultry. Now, Middle English is regarded as being suitably poetic. It has enough poetic features to be used for literature. And I want to zoom in on this manuscript just for a moment to see if we can begin to actually read the words themselves, since Middle English is slightly closer to modern English than Anglo-Norman or Old English. So we have this first historiated S here, leading to this first word, Scythen. You might be able to see the I. Right here we have a thorn, or the TH, so S-I-T-H-E-N, Scythen. That's a Middle English word for since. And then we have a thorn again, and an E. So Scythen the, siege, S-E-G-E, and the thorn, and then we can't see this whole word here, but it's assault. So it still might be pretty tricky, but we are now able to actually piece together words from the manuscripts that we're looking at, which I think represents a big jump forward in what we're able to do with manuscripts, which is pretty exciting. One feature of this manuscript that is really illuminating in both literal and figurative ways involves the many illustrations that this manuscript includes that relate to the story of Sir Gawain himself. And those illustrations not only give us a sense of how early readers might have imagined the scenes, but they also tell us what scenes they found particularly interesting and worthy of attention. We usually illustrate moments in a text that we want to linger over or continue thinking about. And so this is a great window into early readers of Sir Gawain themselves. And so one of the first illustrations that I want to show you from this manuscript is the illustration of the Green Knight himself being beheaded in that first scene by Gawain. And you'll notice too that the Green Knight and his horse, of course, as the narrative puts it, are entirely in green. Gawain is wearing red. Those are 2 colors that come back a lot in this narrative, and I'll be discussing that in greater detail in the themes in Sir Gawain video coming up. But we can already pick up on those themes in this illustration itself. This is from that same image where we can see some of the higher up nobles from that scene, like King Arthur and Guinevere, watching what's unfolding with Sir Gawain and the Green Knight below. Another key moment that gets illustrated in this text is one of the scenes in which Bertilac's wife seduces or tries to seduce Gawain in his bedroom. And that's pretty telling that early readers like ourselves are interested in the seduction scenes, or those are the moments that are really catching the attention of readers both then and now. All right, I'll be pausing this video now to move on to the forms or the genres that are being used in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.